as a whole, over time, we believe this may not be the best match for those candidates. And probably most importantly, it might not be what is the best match for our students and their families. And so that is a difficult decision sometimes, because like I said, there are individuals that have strengths, but maybe not all the strengths that we need for these particular positions that oftentimes are very complex and very challenging. So I hope did that answer your question, Sam?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
And does anybody else, Sam or anybody else, have any additional questions about the process regarding these resolutions? So I would ask Michelle, if you could please present the first resolution regarding probationary licensed and non-licensed non-renewal.
I'm presenting the first resolution relating to the termination and non-renewal of our probationary non-licensed employees for board request board action.
Thank you. Is there discussion? Well, I should bring it to the table. Is there a motion?
I so move. This is Andrea Keene.
Thank you. Moved by Andrea.
Second, Adam Seidel.
Seconded by Adam Seidel. Thank you. Is there a discussion regarding this first resolution? Okay, the motion has been moved and seconded, and we'll move forward for the vote. And Crystal, I would invite you to please call the roll.
Adams.
Aye.
Racky is an aye. Keene.
Yes.
Dallas. Ruthie. It looks like you're on mute. We'll keep going and maybe come back to Ruthie at the end of the list. Kuhn. Michelle, you are also on mute. Okay, we're going to come back to Michelle too. Neville?
Yes.
Sant?
No.
Seidel?
Yes.
Ruthie?
And Juanine, could I ask if you could please check in with Ruthie to see if there is anything that we can provide support for?
Yes, I'm checking on her now.
Thank you so much.
And it looks like Michelle is with us.
Sorry.
That's okay. Michelle, we're still taking the roll.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you. And I do want to hold for a moment. I would like to be able to record Ruthie's vote. And Juanine, when you have a little more information, just if you could please let us know. I'm watching for emails. So in the interest of time, I wonder about protocol, if we can leave this open, but move on to presentation of the next resolution.
Hi, Madam Chair. I'm
Yes,
talking to Ruthie right now, and while we're going through it, she's going to email both of us, but she would like to abstain. I'm not sure, Ann, if I can say that or not, get that through that way. She is emailing, though.
I appreciate the update. Thank you. And if you could please clarify, but my understanding is that it is fine for Juanine to read that communication. And is there anything that we should be aware of that contradicts that understanding?
Just for form's sake, I would like you to receive the email, and then Winnie can certainly read it.
That makes sense. Thank you. And I'm refreshing my messages to wait for the email. I think everybody's email is slow this evening. And Juanine, I have not yet received the email. Have you received it?
Not yet. I know she's working on it right now.
Sure. We'll hold.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
this is Adam. It's my understanding that a vote to abstain is not a vote in and of itself, but a indication of a declining to vote, and therefore, regardless of whether or not we receive an email as to Ruthie's intentions, or if she were to say abstain, it's functionally the same thing. It's a refusal to vote. So I don't know if it's necessary to wait any further than we already have on this issue, given that there's no functional difference.
Thank you. I appreciate the background. I did just receive Ruthie's email. And Juanine, have you also received it?
Yes, I have.
And Juanine, could you please read it?
Ruthie Dallas, I abstain. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And Adam, I appreciate the background that you've shared. What I appreciate about receiving the email is clarification in writing of a board member's intent to abstain. So just confirming that, yes, the intent is to abstain or not to vote, in addition to whether it could have been in writing as a yes or a no vote. But I appreciate the additional background. We will move on to the second resolution. And Michelle, could you please present resolution number 2 regarding temporary licensed positions?
Yes, I'm presenting the resolution and requesting board action for the probationary teaching contract for the following probationary
Got it, Wendy.
and non-renew.
Thank you, Michelle. Is there a motion to bring this resolution to the table?
Seidel moved.
Second by Adams.
Thank you. Moved by Adam Seidel and seconded by Steve Adams. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we will take the vote. Crystal, could you please call the roll?
Adams.
Aye.
Brackey is an aye. Keen.
Yes.
Dallas.
I'm abstaining because I didn't get those 2 letters that the group was talking about. You sent out today?
I did not send I forwarded letters to people who were not individually. Is someone asking a question?
Yeah, Madam Chair, we are on the vote. We are not on discussion.
I understand that we are on discussion.
Well, it's pertinent that
but
all board members have all the right information, though. If some of us have information that not all of us do, that's not fair as a vote.
I think that's not the cause of disagreement, though. It's just that right now.
That's why I'm abstaining. I just say abstain. Yeah.
I appreciate the background, and it was my understanding that the people who chose to send the email had sent them individually to all board members except for 3 whom they identified in the email, and those individuals had the emails forwarded to them. But thank you. I appreciate the additional background. And Crystal, could you please continue with the roll?
Coons.
Aye.
Neville.
Yes.
Sant.
No.
Seidel.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion carries. We'll move on to resolution number 3 regarding reducing programs and position. And Michelle, could you please present the resolution?
I believe we're at resolution 8.3.2, temporary license positions resolution.
That was the one we just presented. So this should be reducing programs and position.
Okay, I apologize. I saw 2 resolutions under 8.3.1, one for non-licensed probationary and one for licensed. And 8.3.2, the resolution for those who are holding a temporary position for tier 1, tier 2, or
Okay.
audit field.
I'm going back into Board Book Premier to see if I did in fact miss one. See Board Book, let's see, 8.3.1. I see where we had these combined under a resolution in 8.3.1. There are 2 separate resolutions. So the resolution, and please correct me if this is accurate that we've missed it, but the resolution regarding the termination of probationary licensed instructors, I just put this one up on Board Book Premier. Michelle, is this the one that you're referring to? I don't know if you're able to see the Board Book Premier presentation.
I can't log into it. I apologize. I'm looking at the temporary license position.
And that was the one that I had just presented for the motion and the vote. So I can see how things may have gotten out of order. So what I think we have not voted on is 8.3.1.2, probationary teaching contract of probationary teachers. So Michelle, if you could please present that resolution.
So I'm presenting a resolution and requesting board action on the probationary licensed teachers, the termination and non-renewal during their probationary period.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Seidel, I so moved.
Thank you. Moved by Adam Seidel. Is there a second?
I second Andrea Keene.
Seconded by Andrea Keene. Thank you. Is there any discussion? And Andrea, would you please call the roll?
Crystal will.
I apologize. Know that Andrea is not the secretary, and if the screen moves around and I look at where you were the last time, it's invariably Andrea. But thank you, Crystal.
Adams.
Aye.
Brackey is an aye. I see Ann Casey has joined us. I know she.
I will abstain due to my lateness. Thank you. Apologies.
Keene.
Yes.
Dallas.
Yes.
Kuntz.
Aye.
Neville.
Yes.
Sant.
No.
Seidel.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion carries. And at this time, we'll move on to 8.3.3, the resolution directing the administration to make recommendations for reductions in programs and positions. And Michelle, are we back? We're back in sync? Excellent. Love the thumbs up. And Michelle, could you please present the resolution?
I'm presenting the proposed resolution for the board to approve reductions in programs and positions, directing the superintendent of schools and the administration to consider the discontinuance of programs and positions as detailed on the resolution.
Thank you. Is there a motion to bring this to the table?
Excuse me, could there be a discussion?
Yes.
So I'd like to ask what the purpose of this resolution is and what the administration intends to do with it.
If we'll make the motion to bring it to the table, which then opens it up for discussion. And yes, we can certainly entertain the question. So let's bring it to the table. Is there a motion?
So moved. Adams.
Moved by Steve Adams, seconded by Andrea Keene. Thank you. And Sam, could you please repeat the question?
Yes, I'd like to know what the purpose of this resolution is and what the administration intends to do with this going forward.
Thank you. And Michelle, are you the right person to address a response to the question?
Yes, I can start with the address, and then if Superintendent Lewandowski or General Counsel Ann Becker would like to step in, that works as well. Each year, we reach out to our member districts regarding their programs and services, and in terms of their if they're continuing the continued services, if they're reducing services, if they're increasing services. And early in February, I bring to the board the resolution to approve, to move forward if need be, a reduction in programs and services based on our member district decisions. And this is in response to a reduction in services, bringing us forward to a resolution to reduce the services for physical therapists for next year.
And if I may ask a follow-up question, this is based in part on enrollment from member districts?
Correct.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Sam,
Yeah.
does that help clarify the question that you have?
Yes.
Thank you. Are there additional questions or discussion?
Just wondering, how many do we have? Do we have any other physical therapists positions?
Yes, we have a number of physical therapist positions.
Okay, so this one is just part-time. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I would just add
Yes.
that Michelle's comment about member district projections is absolutely accurate, but within that, there's an array of different licensures that can ebb and flow based on projections by program and what that particular program profile needs in terms of licensed staff. It really is quite a complicated set of projection making and then translating that to how much staff one needs, just as additional information.
Thank you.
Thanks. That is helpful background. Additional questions or discussion? And Crystal, would you please call the roll?
Adams.
Aye.
Racky is an I. Casey.
Aye.
Keene.
Yes.
Dallas.
Yes.
Coons.
Aye.
Neville.
Yes.
Sant.
Yes.
Seidel.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion carries. And we'll move on to 8.3.4, the resolution proposing to place the following continuing contract licensed staff on unrequested leave of absence. And Michelle, could you please present this resolution?
Thank you, Board Chair. I'm presenting this resolution requesting approval from the board to place the tenured licensed staff as detailed on an unrequested leave of absence.
Thank you. Is there a motion to bring this resolution to the table?
I so move. Andrea Keen.
Moved by Andrea,
Second by Adams.
seconded by Steve Adams. Thank you. Are there any questions or discussion? All right, Crystal, would you please call the roll?
Adams.
Aye.
Brackey is an I. Casey.
Aye.
Keen.
Yes.
Dallas.
Yes.
Coons.
Aye.
Neville.
Yes.
Sant.
Yes.
Seidel.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion carries. That concludes the business services segment of our agenda. For information and board business, go to that segment. We don't have there's the AMSD letter. Am I correct that this is the same newsletter we had at our last meeting? It was all familiar faces, and I thought, well, it's 287, so I see 287 a lot, but I think it was also in AMSD with the last time. So but Andrea, is there any AMSD update that you would like to share this evening?
Yes, we did have our final AMSD Board of Directors meeting for the legislative session, which ended last Monday. We had representatives from the Minnesota Department of Education, including Tom Melcher, come and give a review of the results of the session. I would direct everyone to the AMSD website to look at those slides if they want to see the detail. The slides are really good. We also had a quick presentation from the Executive Director of Pellsby talking about changes with that. Again, slides are at the AMSD website. Finally, I'll just quickly remind everyone that you're all invited to a Reimagine Minnesota conference that's being created specifically for school board members. The date is June 17th. The time is 9 a.m. to noon. I've been involved in some of the planning meetings. I think it will be a really helpful morning. And registration information will be coming soon, hopefully at the beginning of next week. So watch for that. I think that's it.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. I appreciate that. Is there any other business that needs to come before the board this evening? Or we can also just go into once around the table. I know we're approaching the end of this school year. It's been a very different ending from what any of us could have imagined. Is there anything anyone would like to share about closing out the school year virtually in your home districts?
Steve Adams here. I'd just like to share our graduation plans, and I'm curious to hear about other districts. But we're having a drive-by graduation on June 4th at noon. And thankfully, I don't have to put on a business suit. It's business casual. And then we're going to have a broadcast ceremony at 7 p.m. that night on AM 950. So those are our plans.
That sounds great, Steve. I'll
That
share a
does
little
sound
bit about
really
Wayzata. We still have Mariucci reserved for August 1st, just in case things change. Mainly because we heard tons of student voice that even though they know it likely won't happen, they want to keep that date. So we still have that. And in the meantime, we're doing a virtual graduation with a picture, a quick memory, and then a quick video of every one of our 830 graduates throwing their cap in the air. So should be about as good as it can be.
Well, Edina is doing they're doing multiple things, but what I'm excited about is the Transportation Center is sending a bus to each graduate's home. So it's over 700 stops with an individual, either a member of the board or the district lead team, to personally deliver the diploma cover. The diplomas are always mailed in June. That has not changed. But the caps and gowns have been sent out in advance. So it's an opportunity there will be a photographer to take a picture of the individual receiving their diploma in cap and gown.
Wow.
So,
Wow. That's fantastic.
Fun.
I'll share too.
Any other?
I'll share too. In Robbinsdale,
Sure.
we are doing next week all virtual graduations. We're trying to follow what the Department of Health and Department of Education have stated in the statutes and social distancing. We've just gone forward with virtual graduation for all our schools. We have set dates in the future for July 23rd and July 28th for in-person graduation ceremonies, pending what happens with the pandemic. Seeing what's going on, it probably most likely won't happen, but to not rob this graduating class, especially 2020, a big year, that they could have the opportunity to do so if possible.
Fantastic.
And Madam Chair, I just reiterate that 287 is doing virtual graduations, very individualized by program. If you haven't gotten the final schedule with invite information, it should be coming soon because it is an array of different dates and times, obviously. And we also have some preferred staff that any graduate might be very close to, who will be making a trip to the house with social distancing just to have a visual presence at their in their neighborhood to congratulate them.
Great. So I appreciate all of the updates. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Michelle Kuntz.
Moved by Michelle.
Second, Andrea McKean.
I heard a couple of seconds. Was there Juanine, did you get a second?
Andrea
I
seconded.
believe I got Andrea.
Seconded. Fantastic. Crystal, would you please call the roll?
Adams.
Aye.
Brackey is an aye. Casey.
Aye.
Keen.
Yes.
Dallas.
Yes.
Kuntz.
Aye.
Neville.
Yes.
Sant.
Yes.
Seidel.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. And with that, we are adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Regina, are you still there?
Oh, I think she left, Sam. You have a
I thought
question?
I thought we're going into a work session or something.
Yeah, I think what you need to do is go to your email and find the link for the next meeting. It's going to be a separate meeting with a second link.
Got it. Okay.
Is that right, Juanine? I think it is.
Yes,
Good luck.
that's correct. That's correct.